Okay, so I might get emotional because today we are together with Janet Attwood, and you, Janet, have a very big place in my heart because I do not think, yeah, but that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
I do not think I would have had the guts and, to live the way we live today, where we live a very free life, if I haven't met you and if I haven't went through yours, the passion test, and worked together with you so for all those years. So I'm very, very grateful to sit here with you and cry baby. Yeah. So
Oh, you're
very
such a
grateful to
golden
sit with you,
retriever.
Danny, and I would love for us here in this talk to be able to see if we can give people out there an idea of how they also can choose their passions and live the life they really want. So welcome, Jenny.
Thank you, Jesper. I'm so happy to be with you and Cecilia because I just love you both, Cecilia. I just love you both so much. And so this is like, hi, everybody who's listening. You're actually kind of like listening in on a private conversation of
Yeah.
three people that are bonded together probably for life because we're so hooked in on every level. Hmm? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's a great friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people who don't know you, Jenny, maybe we should mention the passion test and a little about your story. So if you can be so kind to share that with us.
You mean I have to tell my own bio?
No, no.
Oh, no, it's just because you're a crybaby.
Yeah.
Can we tell your bio without? I mean, so Janet wrote the passion test with Chris, who has already been on the podcast.
My ex-husband, my best friend, my business consultant, and right now I'm in Germany hanging out with him and his wife and my three godchildren, Ocho, Tiana, and Sophie.
It's such a great family. Yeah. And the passion test, I love the origin story of it. And I love what it's doing to people. So I always recommend everyone who are a little in doubt in life to go check it out and see what it can do for them. You can actually take a version of the passion test online for free, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
cool?
Yeah.
It's so cool. And it will get you clear or clearer on who you are and what you want, which is the center. How can you move anywhere if you don't know where to go? You need set a goal. It's funny how this when I talk to people, this stops people all the time. They actually don't know what they want. So what you invented is the starting point for basically everything, isn't it?
Well, it's not number one. Number one for anyone listening, the passion test is one exercise after the other, after the other, after the other, that gets you so crystal clear that when you close your eyes, you can actually see the world you choose to create. And when you can really see the world you choose to create, that's what the law of attraction is all about, that it's an inside out job. And so when you have it so clear inside what it is that matters most to you, that you love, that you care about, then you're aligned with God, nature, higher power, the universe, the unified field, whatever name you want to put to that energy that's greater than yourself. And that's what the passion test does. It's just through different practices, processes, tools that we share with you when you take the passion test. So, and then the second point is, I always like to say, Cecile, that it was not me that created the passion test. I am not the inventor of anything. That I was just hanging out somewhere, on Earth, and nature, God, higher power, happened to notice and said, "We got to give her something," and just plop. And it's really, I don't like to say that I've done anything because I haven't. It's that when you're open, when you're really open and you're putting the call out to the universe. So this is, if you want to live a passionate life, one of the secrets is to claim it, name it and claim it, set your intention And I remember before the passion test sitting in, I was in a job I hated. I sucked at it. I was terrible. I was failing. I was losing money. I was recruiting disk drive engineers in Silicon Valley, and everyone else was making millions of dollars. And I was just zero, minus money. And one day I was so depressed at work, I walked outside, got in my little red car, and I looked around. I had this little red Toyota that could hardly get to work and back, and this little cracked dashboard, leather dashboard. And I just got in my little red car and I put my head on my dashboard. And I just closed my eyes and I looked up. When I opened my eyes, I looked out the window and I saw that it was a beautiful day. It was just like beautiful. The sun was out, the sky was blue, the trees were just shimmering, with the sun on them, how they do, and a little bit of breeze. And it was just gorgeous. And I realized, and I started crying. I just like, what the hell? I haven't even noticed how beautiful everything is lately because I'd been so obsessed about being such a loser because I was doing this job that I hated and couldn't connect with. And I felt terrible because all my friends that were working with me were my friends and they thought I would burn it up. And so I wasn't only failing me, I thought I'm failing them, I'm failing me. I'm just like, God, what's wrong? And so as I looked out the window, I just said this like inner prayer, God, my mom used to say, Janny, you're here for greatness. And so I just said, God, what? I know I'm here. What do you want me to do? And I really think that's the very first little key that opens the door. I really choose to serve humanity. Show me the way. Let me be a vessel through which you speak. Please draw to me the people, the places, the things that I need in order to get clear. If you're not clear on what you're passionate about, then set the intention and start asking yourself and God, we're a co-creator. Show me the people, places, or things that I need in order to get clear. Right. And yeah, so then there's the story that happened after that. It all started to unfold. But it was that moment. That was a very, very, very important defining moment of really just asking because we're so powerful. And what I'd realized is that I was putting my attention on what I didn't want to create. God, I'm in this job. I'm failing. I'm terrible. I'm awful. I suck. Instead of, well, what is it that I choose to create? What's important to me? What do I care about? What do I love? What would get me out of bed in the morning? And I wasn't, I was creating the opposite. And we have to remember all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean all of us are here on this planet. No, there's not one person the same. We all have a gift. We all have something really important to contribute. And so what is our job? It's not even personal. I always like to say living a passionate life isn't even about you. It's not personal. Look at the world. Look at the world right now, the world situation. Why is the world shaking? Why are there so many crimes? Why is nature so imbalanced? It's because there's so many people that are out of balance. So one way of getting in balance is to get clear on what it is that matters most to you. And think about it. We're all part and parcel of what science calls the unified field. So in order for the unified field, it's like we're part of this puzzle. So when I say living your passion is not personal, we have a piece in this puzzle. And if we're not in sync with what it is that we're here to do on this planet, if we're not listening to our marching orders, because that's really what it is, it's our marching orders, then we're out of sync and then we're not contributing. And then it's this ripple effect that affects not only you, but think about it. Maybe someone listening, you know what I'm talking about. You're in a bad mood, you hate your job, you go to work, and, people say something, you grump at them, you wake up in the morning, your kids come in, Mom, and shut up, God, don't talk to me right now. I've got to sleep. I have only an hour and I've got to go to work. And so the ripple effect and what is the world? It's just a product of individuals So what's so important for the world to be in harmony is for us as individuals, our greatest task is to be in harmony with ourselves, with our calling, with what God wants for us, nature, higher power. Yeah. So that's the passion test. The passion test will do that as number one tool being used around the world right now. And it's because it's a system. And what's cool about a system, and yes, for you love systems, and that's why you love the passion test, save yourself time, energy, and money. And Yesby, you're one of my favorite students on the planet. You are, because you know why? Because you got it. You were like, oh, duh. Yeah. Here's the thing, all of you. Jesper was working for me as my marketing director and actually didn't really want to be doing what he was doing, but he made a money-based decision. This is what happens to me all the time. I lose people constantly that work for me because I'm constantly talking about the importance of living your passion. And most everybody, their passion is not me. It's and for I just wonder, I don't understand. Yeah, right. So what happened to Jesper? It's
Yeah.
the most cool thing. He realized, God, you know what I want to do? I want to get a bus. I want a red bus. It wasn't even a bus. I want to have a red bus. And I want to put my whole family in it. He has 3 of the most enlightened kids on the planet. He's got a wife that's to die for. And I want to get everybody in it. And I want us to just live. I want us to live and eat life up and go to beautiful places and meet great people and be conscious and be aware and share that as we go. Jesper, you're my hero, man. Oh, you heard the calling, and it wasn't my calling. It was, you got the system. You heard the system. System, save yourself time, energy, and money. That's what the passion test does. And you got it. The light went on, and the next thing I know, he quits. And then actually, he was smart. He didn't quit all at once. He first got the bus, made sure he had enough money for the bus. Little rat, right? It was
Now I'm just saying something.
it was like the next thing I know, I'm getting pictures from all over the world, right? And can I get mad at the guy? No, because why? Because that's what I care about too. I want everybody to figure it out. And Jesper, I bet it was scary. I mean, like, I'm going to quit my jobs. I mean, you've had really high paying jobs. You're really capable. You're unbelievably capable. And it was scary, wasn't it?
It
It
was
was very
it
scary.
was so scary. And recently we were at a garden party. A guy said to me, he said, "Oh, what you do takes courage." And my first answer was, "No, it really doesn't." But then I think back about the time before we did it, before we took the step.
Yeah.
That took so much courage. After you have taken the step, it's just now you need to get it to work. The most scary part was to cut the ties to our old life, I think.
Yeah, to let go because what if I let go, and what if I let go of something that's really could have served me, but you found out that doesn't have anything to do with in the passion test, the first line, when my life is ideal, when you can just figure it out, like what is it that you care about? What is it that would be a blast? Because see, that quote in the passion test, what you love in God's will for you is one and the same, God, nature, higher power. So when you align with that, what happens is what we forget is that it's not about us. It's about us listening. And what you were doing, you were listening, and how it shows up as is, oh, wouldn't this be fun? Wouldn't this be blissful? Wouldn't this be adventurous? Wouldn't this be great? Wouldn't this be it if I can do that? But that's nature, God, higher power speaking to you. And all I have to do is go, yeah, and then just start a little plan, a little step. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, it takes courage. I think especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it's irrelevant to talk about fear because that's what happens. It's not easy to take the passion test. You're not just doing it while, half asleep. It's confronting to make choices and to decide, I want this, not that. and I'm going to risk all of this to go this way. And I'm going to do it whether it seems logical, rational, and safe or not. I'll do it anyway. I think that fear, I know we have to stay in the focus of the things that we want and need and love, but I think a lot of listeners, a lot of people I talk to, it's the first wall they hit. It's the fear. They just can't.
Yeah, it's called limiting beliefs. That's why when you get coached by someone who's a facilitator in the passion test, it's a one-on-one, and you get 2 sessions, not just one. You don't go, okay, we're going to take you through the passion test so you can get clear on your top 10 passions, and then you can get clear on your top 5 so that you can put your attention on those things. No, it's not just that. It's the second session, which is what I think is like, man, if you don't have a second session, most people won't do what the first session came up with, because limiting beliefs. I'm not smart enough. I'm not capable enough. I don't have enough money. I'm not good enough. I'm not all the are like driving on the highway of life, going down 100 miles an hour and then slamming into a brick wall. Those limiting beliefs stop you from living your passion test only 100% of the time. So the second session is undoing those limiting beliefs, because you can undo those limiting beliefs. And that is fear. That's fear. False evidence appearing real. That's the acronym for fear. False evidence appearing real. And when you undo your limiting beliefs, then what you realize is, oh my God, it was only this thought in my mind. And also the other thing too, I think that's important is, you just don't go, okay, now I know what I'm going to do. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to be in this high paying job. I just want to stop everything and I'm going to jump off the mountain and hope it works. No, you take baby steps and you use your brain. You get a plan. That's where goals come in, but you don't do goals until after you figure out what your passions are. After you figure out what your markers are, what will my life look like when my life is ideal? Those are what's called markers that you do in the passion test. And once you start to know what your passions are and what your markers are, then you can start to set realistic goals that will align with your passions.
I would love to talk a little more about markers, as you call them, because when I first met them, what it did for me was it changed the way I had of looking at my dreams. Because my dreams early on was maybe, these fluffy, I want to just travel the world. I want to have more money. I want more freedom. But then you came and asked with the markers, but how would that look like?
Yeah.
Uh,
How much more money?
yeah, how
Give
much?
me a number.
Yeah,
All
and
this fluffy.
and where
and
would you travel? When?
where would you
And
go and how?
and I remember one of the
Mhm.
ones I wrote down was, so how would I know I could live my passion? And one of them was to be, a marker was very clear. We have some friends in Malaga. It would be like, if I could just visit them if I wanted, not caring about, do I need to go to work?
Well, yes, let's get clear for
Yeah.
people. Yeah, even clearer.
Yeah.
So what's one of your passions?
One of my passions is spending time together with my family.
All right. So, okay, stay there. So Jesper's passion is to spend, well, and it's not just spending time with your family. It's probably spending quality, loving, fun time with your family, right? Knowing you. So this is a passion, spending quality, loving, fun time. So what we're talking about when we say markers say that your passion, and so Jesper's passion, spending quality, loving, fun time with my family. Markers say, yes, you're doing that at a 10, 100%, no room for improvement. So let's figure out your markers right now, right here, right now. So if your passion was spending quality, loving, fun time with my family, what would have to happen? And all of you listening, think about it, because you want to make markers for your passions too. What would have to happen for that passion to be 100% realized? What's one thing that has to happen. Like it's done. Okay, that passion is done. Now, what happens when that passion is done? What's something that would happen?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm
It's
feeling
your
Well, how about I'll tell you? Okay,
Yeah.
I can rip
It's
it off.
difficult.
Oh,
It's
but
difficult.
let's let the
Okay, number one, you said spending quality, loving, fun time. All right, our family is always laughing together. One thing. Number two, that's one marker. Our family is always laughing together. Now, I ask all of you, does it make sense if Jesper is spending quality, loving, fun time with his family, that one thing that would happen is they're laughing together. They're always laughing together, playing together. That would be a marker. Okay. Boom. One. Number two, let's see. He wrote down spending quality, loving, fun time with my family. Oh, my children come to me and say, I love you, Dad and Mom. Right? Do you think that would happen? Does that make sense? If your passion is, I'm spending quality, loving, fun time with my family, does it make sense that your kids would share with you how much they love and appreciate you and vice versa on a regular basis? Hmm? Absolutely. Marker. So that's another marker. A marker says that your passions are 100% fulfilled. Now, why is it important to have markers? What the heck is that? Well, remember I said right in the very beginning of talking that the passion test is one exercise after the other, that when you close your eyes, you can actually see the world you choose to create. So when you know what your passion is, but not just your passion, when you also then have a number of markers, then that puzzle gets filled in automatically. You can clearly see what that passion looks like from within. And I said that in the beginning too, that your passions are an inside out job. As a matter of fact, the Vedas, some of the most ancient literature known to man, says it so much better than I could. Curving back on myself, I create again and again. Curving back on myself, myself. When I close my eyes, that's how I'm curving in, back on myself. I create again and again. I create from within. So when I get so clear on what those passions are, what those markers are, then I filled in the puzzle. What happens then is that I start to manifest the people, the places, or things to be able to support me in living a passionate life. And in the passion test, we say, it's not the how, it's the what, the how. What I mean by the how, Jesper's what? Jesper's passion, that's his what? Spending quality, loving, fun time with my family. That's his what? That's what gets him out of bed in the morning. That's one of his passions. The how, that's not Jesper's job. So you don't have to figure that out. Nobody has to figure out, how the hell is that going to happen? No, that's God's job, nature, higher power. So that's the good news. You get to let go of that one. And all you have to do, all of you, in order to live a passionate life, is to just focus on the what. What do I care about? What do I really love? Because remember, again, what you love and God's will for you is one and the same. And so what you're doing is you're aligning with higher power. And when you've aligned, that's when your life becomes a life that's so on fire, so magical. There's this beautiful quote from my master, Maharishi: life is here to enjoy. Life is not here to annoy. And so when you listen to what it is that you care about, when you listen to God, nature, higher power, the marching orders for you, when you really listen, you'll find that they're one and the same. And what you'll also find is it brings you great joy, and that joy, that bliss, that fulfilling feeling when you think about it, that happiness that radiates from within. That's the true path. That's the effortless path. That's the do less, accomplish more path. Now, we talked about it's scary to live a passionate life. You have to have courage. Yeah, but think about it. It's scarier if you don't. Because if aligning with your passion is a do less, accomplish more path, what's not aligning with your passion? what's going to work every day, doing a job that's just a money-based decision, but you really hate what you're doing and you suck at it because usually you're not that great at what you hate. Or if you are, but you hate it, maybe it was a passion at one time even. A lot of you listening, probably you've done you've been doing a lot of things that you've loved, and all of a sudden, God, how come this isn't fun anymore? It's not fun anymore once you become a master at something. It's time to renew yourself. It's time to get that whiteboard and start again. That's why all of a sudden, God, why is this boring to me? Why do all of a sudden I hate what I loved? It's because there's not just one calling. There's many callings. And that's why we tell people take the passion test every 3 to 6 months to get realigned with what it is that the universe is asking you to line up for, to do, to serve, to be of just a blissful, loving being on the planet to others. That's your job. And how can you be kind to others if you can't be kind to you? I just love this. I mean, it makes so much sense to me. And when the I always think about this thought of going on a path, and you're in the mountains and you're on a path, and you see a bear, and it's like, oh my God, a bear, and it's really super scary, right? Well, you have two choices. You can either stand there and you can be bigger than the bear, and that's what undoing your limiting beliefs is all about, or you can run. And that's what staying in a life of what you might call comfort and security. But in this time, there's no comfort, there's no security. As a matter of fact, what was it that one of the Indians, I think it was the Hopi Indians. What did they say? Stop trying to be comfortable. Stop trying to be comfortable. We stay in our little comfort zone. We stay in our little box, but that's what it's called in Vedic terms, a pragyaparad. It's a mistake of the intellect, a mistake I'm going to stay where I'm comfortable, even though my castle's over there, my passion, that's my passion. I'm not really living my passion, but I didn't die here. I didn't die here, and I know this. I know this little hut, so I stay in my hut. And so what's going on with that type of thinking? And the hut is the box, staying in your box. Is that's what in Vedic terms is called the pragyaparad, the mistake of the intellect. The mistake of the intellect is, oh, well, I'm here. I didn't die. I'm going to stay here. But really, what you are doing is you're dying slowly. And that's what is not being seen, right? And you're not going for the castle. So the passion test is about aligning you and sharing with you how to effortlessly and elegantly go for the castle, because that is really your birthright. You are here to be of service to humanity, doing the things you love. And so, I'm just thankful to both of you for being a stellar, and I mean stellar. I was just with that. We were all together in Germany together. I mean, the most freaking fun I've had. I mean, it was so much. I was riding along in their bus. Should take, you have some pictures, I think, of us in the bus. We should have taken more pictures of Janet in the bus with Yes, We're Living It.
I think I have a few though. I do. Yeah, we could put them in the show.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, you're a living example of what a person or people do and feel when they're really truly following what matters most to them. And so are your kids. And this is what's so important. I mean, think about it. What you're doing by choosing in favor of your passion is you're teaching your children how to also, and their kids, let me tell you about their kids. Their kids are like 3 little Einsteins. I mean, it's like, I must tell you, it's humbling being around them because they know how to choose. They know what they want. They know what they don't want. They're helpful. They're loving. They're kind. They're considerate. I mean, and they're an example of both of you following your passions. And this is the outcome. As they learn from watching you, and you see the kids all over the world where the parents aren't. And what are the kids? What are the kids representing? Yeah. And
And what our kids have that other kids don't have is their personal freedom. They get to do what
I'm telling you, it's profound. I mean, it's just that ripple effect that I was talking about earlier, that it's really living a passionate life. It's not about you. Quit thinking, oh my God, I don't know if I'm enough or good enough, or you're enough. You're enough, and it's not about you. And when you get off thinking it's about you, and you realize that if you're kind and you're loving and you're happy and you're passionate, that's your job. That's your job. That anybody who's not, they're off. That the normal man. See, we've gotten so far off um, that we think that depression is normal. I got a headache. Yeah, I know. And
that's
me
just the
too,
baseline.
right? And
Nothing else.
exactly. Instead of
Yeah, but you're so right. You're so right. I think we talked to Erica Davis Pitler. She's like a superstar of the unschooling community, and she said every day you have so many little and big options for being kind, choosing kindness, and that's the ripple effect. Again, you're in so many. So this can be aligning with the universe and live your passion. It's big words, but then you have to get up and make some coffee, and someone spilled something and didn't clean it up, and maybe the cat gets in the way. All of the practical little things that life actually consists of. I think a very nice place to start before you sit down and do your passion test and your meditation and your inner work. Maybe think conscious of the ripple effects.
yeah.
Just be you and kind, and let go of all the negativity, and just clean up whatever mess probably that person had a reason to leave it there, and pet the cat, and make your coffee and chill a little bit, and do it in kind ways, because that will change the whole atmosphere around you.
Yeah, but it's easier to be kind when you're clear about.
Obviously, but then after the coffee, sit down with the passion test. What I'm saying is just, there are the big lines, but there is also always the option of choosing. Obviously, in context, I should say choose in favor of your passions, because obviously.
Yeah, but
Also choose in favor of the ripple effects around you. What atmosphere do you want to create? What track do you want to have behind you? I think that's very important.
it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. We're talking about actually the same thing, because even thinking about what are the ripple effects, what you'll find is that what you want is actually your passion. It will. How do I want? What do I want? What do I want for my family? How do I want to be? That's a passion too. One of my passions is to truly be just one of the most loving, kind individuals on the planet. Be the no. Well, actually, really, my passion is to be the most aligned Janet that I can be, because I know that it's not what I'm doing; it's who I'm being that really matters. And so it's all the same. That's what I was saying. It's all really the same when you get down to it and you start getting really clear. What are my passions? It's all your passion. Your passion is that ripple effect. And that ripple effect is your passion. And you are, and how you're not. And when you're not that, you can really feel it. You can really feel it, can't you? And it
Oh,
hurts.
yeah, it does. And the joy you talked about before, we usually, if someone has doubt or is confused or a little off, we're 5 people and 2 dogs living inside one van together. Obviously, there need to.
It's a 2-by-foot van.
It's a beautiful van, but it's not very big. So we all have to be on track all the time, because we're all affected by everyone all the time. So if anyone is off, we have to fix it. And we usually say, where's the joy?
Yeah.
Choose where the joy is. That's the right path. If you feel the butterflies in your stomach, if you feel like smiling, if you feel like saying, I want to do this, not I should do this, or I ought to do this, or maybe someone thinks I should do it. But where's the joy? What do you really want to do? And usually these things that put people a little off track is that I should, or maybe my mom thinks I should, or I ought to, but I don't really want to. Then we tell them, just don't do it. Sit down with your book or eat the cake or whatever makes you happy. Go where the joy is. And then very quickly, it's all good. Yeah, I'm just trying to talk a little
No,
bit
no, that's fine.
in the conversation.
Janet, I was thinking one of the things you have worked with, or I've heard you mention earlier, is called birthright. Um, you talk about when you came to be as a baby, you were celebrated for just being. And that picture I have talked with a lot of other people who, when they are in some sort of cannot in their life, when they don't feel they're good enough or something, I say to them, but imagine just being a human being, just being here on this planet. That's a very big gift. And you are okay by just being. If you're just present, you're okay. It depends on what you're doing of stupid stuff.
Have you taken that in like for real yourself?
Come on now, those two women in the same room.
Oh, you're brutal on film. You're so brutal. Oh my God. I love that. Authenticity, transparency, vulnerability. Let's just like put it there.
Put it out there.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, though. You know, it's absolutely true. It's that, I mean, it's all about, I mean, you know, I teach self-love and what is self-love? Self-love is just acceptance. It's not being anything. It's just accepting who you are in this moment, no matter what, no matter what. And I have a great example of self-love. My brother, John, who is 2 years older than me, came to me one day and he called me up and this was just a few years ago. Now I've been teaching the passion test for over 25, right? Calls me up and he goes, I figured it out. And I said, what? And he said, I'm not passionate about anything. And I loved it because why? It was okay with him. It was acceptance. It was self-acceptance. That was so beautiful. I'm not passionate about anything. And you know what? If what I hear you saying, Jesper, is, you know, start at the baseline, which is how I'm being right in this moment is exactly how I'm supposed to be. What I have right now in this moment is exactly what I'm supposed to have. How do I know? That's who I'm being, and that's what I have. End of story. Anything other than that is a limiting belief. Anything other than that is going to bring pain, separation, and suffering. Thank you, Byron Katie. Huh? Anything. So that was beautiful. I loved my brother saying that. I will never forget that beautiful moment. And he has a ton of passions now. Oh, it's so beautiful that that allowed him to be accepting of whatever wanted to come next, right? Very obviously, you know, he had things that were brewing, but he created a beautiful whiteboard by just letting it be okay that, you know, it didn't matter that he had some big, gigantic passion. And you know what? Now he's writing. And it took him forever. I always say to him, John, God, I'm the New York Times bestselling author, but you're a better writer. Right. I've been telling him that for probably 25 years. And with him allowing himself, you know, I need to go, you know what? This is just not what I want to do. And I always thought, God, what a waste. He's such a great writer. But that's the other thing, right? We never know where someone's passions are going to lead them. And our job is to stay in our business, not theirs. And so I got out of his business and now he's writing. He's writing every single day. And what did he do? He gave him permission. He gave himself permission to, number one, let it be okay that whatever he was enough. And then from there, so much since has happened. You know, I mean, his life is super rich. He's just got incredible things happening all the time. And now he is writing, you know, which is everything in its perfect timing.
Yeah, there's time for everything. We say that as well. And actually, about time, we're in a context right now where there's some dancing thing going on in 10 minutes with all the kids at this community.
Where are the kids? Where are they? Are they being quiet?
Our children are probably still reading their books and having their breakfast, but we're in a community in a forest in the south of England, and
Wilderness woods.
they are going to do some movement dancing class with a lot of local kids starting in 5 minutes, and they will be loud.
Get yourself there. I know it'll be fun.
Yeah, and we can't keep on with the recording because the noise will be too loud. So
That's okay. I think we talked enough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, we can never talk.
No, no.
No, you're.
I dominated too. I tell you, it's so hard for me when you start talking to me about passion. Something like it's like almost my gas tank fills up, and it's I get it put into time purge.
And then the engines.
And we love it.
Yeah.
That's why we're on the call. We're not to
But-
talk about ourselves, but to hear
Yeah.
your insightful ways of just putting everything so clearly. Then it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. But in 2 minutes, there will be music. So we have to say thank you very much.
No, I want to wait until there's music. I want to hear it.
Maybe not on the recording.
So Janet, thanks a lot for your time, and we will hope to take another longer talk next time. I would
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I love you guys. I love you.
Love you.
Thanks, everybody. Love to you. Bye.